right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the event Shake-Up, man. I am your host, DJ Jem. I got my man, DJ Sye Young, and we are the DJ firm. First, please don't forget to like, subscribe if you listen to this on YouTube, and all your podcast networks. Like, subscribe, get the word out. The event Shake-Up is here. Man, today we got a huge guest with us today, man. One of the most influential people for me and you, Sye.
There'll be no Sye Young and DJ Jem.
Man, today we got DJ Whiteshadow.
Hey, it's me.
Man, Grammy nominated.
No, I won that shit.
You won that shit?
Yeah, I got a Grammy somewhere.
Damn. I'm sorry, man. We didn't even, this happened so quick. Normally we would just be like, yo, we need an intro. We need to get your bio. I would like read this whole thing.
I didn't even believe this man.
Let's build the plane while we're flying. Let's do this.
Yeah, he didn't even know you. He didn't believe you were going to come.
Of course I'm going to come. It takes a couple seconds for me to figure out the date, but like, yeah, I'm here, man. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Yeah, man.
I'm a little bit understanding that you would think I was going to be coming to the show. I get it. But I show up for you guys. I come to the company functions every once in a while. You know?
That is true.
Hey, man,
I try to do what I can.
The last barbecue, man.
I was slamming.
Yeah.
It's tasty little.
There was actually
your
some
son
girls there like, who is that? When you walked into the parking lot, they were like, who's that? I'm like, yo, that's Whiteshadow.
Yeah,
like you came in a parking lot like glowing.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I think
nice.
you had on like, I don't know. You had on like socks and some like chancletas and some sandals.
Looking like Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
It was like those sandals that had the cross leather.
I don't know. I hope.
Style, man.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
That's crazy you said that. So, man, when there's a lot we got to talk about, man, and how you've influenced us. But I remember when I first started DJing, and we were at the office, and you was like, listen, you motherfuckers, whenever you walk into, you're like giving me an example of when you walk into a place, and if just anyone that's look at you and do not know who you are, they'll be like, yo, who is that?
Yeah.
And that's literally when you walked in, people were like, yo, who is that? And you taught me that years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were like,
you gotta be the coolest motherfucker in the room, man. They're paying you to be the coolest motherfucker
Yeah.
in the room, right?
So
You're the man.
you were like, yo, if you step off of a plane or walk into a club, as soon as you step out, you just gotta know like that person is important.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's like partially like the way that you carry yourself too. But you guys are great. I mean, like,
I don't give a fuck no more.
I don't know. I don't think that's true.
I'll be wearing my flannel everywhere.
But that's cool. No, it doesn't matter like what you wear. Like, you know what I mean? It's like how you do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like,
Do you still are you embracing technology, or you still like request turntables and like
it's a 50-50 split. So like, I truly believe that like once you become a master of something, or you consider yourself a master of something, there's not really a point in changing it all the time, right?
Yeah.
So it's like every single update of like every VST on the internet. It's VSTs come out, like Spotify puts out songs. There's like 50 of them a day.
Yeah.
I used to sit there and be like, oh shit, like I gotta download the new pack for whatever, you know, so I have the new sounds. And it's like, part of that's true, but part of it is also like become good. If you don't become good at the stuff that's out already, and you're skipping to the next thing like right away,
you don't
then
tap into that potential of it.
right? Like you got to master the current existence. So it's like for me, I don't play on like the CDJ 3 million right now because I know how to manipulate turntables better than I know how to manipulate that. At this point, I have them and I use them at the crib sometimes. And if I show up somewhere, I can use them. Like I know what it is. But I'd rather use like the Rain 12s and the new Pioneer turntables or whatever.
Yeah, because you asked me for a writer, and I was like, oh yeah, do the phase. He's like, phase? I know you knew about phase, but you didn't even use phase that much. He was like, yo,
You know why I did?
give me some needles.
They sent it to me. Well, they sent it to me. Like when they sent it to me, this is partially like what you're talking about, right? It's the balance. They sent it to me. I plugged it in. I couldn't figure out how to work it in like 2 minutes.
Called
and
me.
I was like, you know what?
You called me. You were like, yo, Sye, how does this work?
Yeah.
Because the first time you played on phase was during 2020 when COVID.
COVID?
Oh, when yours are your.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
That's
Okay,
right.
yeah.
Right, that's right. And then I asked for some, and they sent them to me, and I used them. But like I did, and I know how they work now.
Yeah.
And so, but I always just ask for. I know if I show up and something goes wrong with the phase, I don't know exactly how to switch it out.
So,
If something goes wrong with the Rain 12s, like 2 seconds, I got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, it's just like ease of use and like what's the quickest path from A to B. And so I just use that.
Man, I want to ask you a question, man. And obviously we have a lot of history, right?
Yeah.
Going back. Obviously for a lot of our listeners, you know, they may just be learning about Whiteshadow. Like, who's this Whiteshadow guy, Paul Blair? So obviously you're from Michigan.
Yeah.
What part of Michigan?
I'm actually from Ohio. I was
Ohio?
Born in Ohio.
Bro.
I lived in Ohio
I
until
didn't know
I was
that.
in 6th grade. Yep. I lived in Ohio until I was 6th grade. I moved to Detroit, outside of Detroit, Sterling Heights when I was 6th grade. I don't know how old you are when that is.
Yeah.
So I went to 6th grade outside of Detroit. 5th grade I did in Ohio.
So that's what I want to talk about. In Detroit, like where you got like, to me, from talking to you, I feel like Detroit was like a big space for you when you start really getting into like DJ and like Detroit techno and all that stuff. I would have really loved to, you know more about that era for you and like what it meant to like your whole career and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's born into. I truly think that I'm going to sound spacey right now, but I feel like people are like born when they're supposed to be born. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that sounds weird, but
Yeah.
like you get this like thinking of an extra layer to the universe. It's like I would never want to be born in like 1930, you know?
Yeah.
But I see motherfuckers walking around with like rat rods and like, you know what I mean? Like juking and jiving or whatever. And like, maybe they should have been born in the 30s and not in the right spot.
Yeah.
I have no interest in any of that, right?
Yeah.
Or like people that watch The Crown and they're like, oh, it must have been so great to be alive then. I'm like, no, I would never want to fucking be alive then, right?
Yeah.
But when I grew up, I still consider it like the best time of all time.
Yeah.
It's like I missed the 70s, right? Like a large part of the 70s. Saw all the 80s, all the 90s. Like that is like my time of like my favorite time in the universe, basically because of the music. And so when I was like in Ohio, my uncle gave me this tape called Mr. Magic's Rap Attack, and it was like all Mr. Magic is an old DJ in New York. It was all these songs that he had played on the radio station that he was on.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like DJing. It was just like the first time I ever saw the word DJ or understood what a DJ was. It was probably like in 2nd grade. Listen to this tape over and over again, and like I have a Polaroid now of me and 2 other white dudes from Ohio like breakdancing in 3rd grade. Like I was like immersed in like this culture that I knew nothing about. But like you're listening to the stories, we didn't have like all the information that everybody has now.
Yeah.
And there's something special about not having all the information. I say this all the time.
You
Like,
have to go find
but
it.
it's not just that, but like I'm gonna sound like an asshole. I've said this before. I don't give a fuck if a hurricane happens in China. It's not I don't give a fuck. I got so much negative shit going on in my mind right now. It's like, why do I care about a goddamn fucking a truckload of cats tipping over on a highway in Europe?
Yeah.
It's like, it makes me depressed. So I don't want to hear all the information. And so it's like back in the day when you were looking for information, you were looking for good information, and like you would ingest good information, and good things were like, you know what I mean? Like I think there's got to be some kind of psychology to it. But like for me, it was all about music and the stories that music was telling at the time. Hip hop specifically was telling. I just never heard those stories. You couldn't turn on a TV and hear those stories living on a fucking corn farm in Ohio.
Yeah.
It was like, there was this magical land of like, so go back and listen to The Message by Grandmaster. The Message was on that tape. And so broken glass everywhere, people pissing on the stairs, they just don't care. It's like,
Yeah.
can't take the smell, can't take the noise. I got no money to move out. I guess I got no choice.
Yeah.
Rats in the front room, roaches in the back. I was like, what the fuck is going on over there? What is this place? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'm a naturally like inquisitive human being. So like I start digging into the next. Who the fuck is this guy? Who's this guy? Who's this guy? And I'm digging in and trying to ask my mom for tapes. And my mom's a wildly Christian woman. God bless her. She's a wonderful human being. But she didn't want me to listen to any of this shit.
Yeah.
Right? My uncle gave me Running with the Devil by Van Halen, and my mom chucked it like a goddamn Frisbee across a, whatever. So it's like she was not like no secular music, but she was very monitoring like what I listened to.
Yeah.
So anyway, to her chagrin, like it was just like an insatiable, like I gotta know more about this. So even like as a kid, I was like at Christmas or whatever, birthdays or Easter, whatever, whenever I could get a present, I was like, give me a record.
tape,
Give me a tape, give me a record. So anyway, I was really, really into it before I even left for Detroit, right? But when you pull up in Detroit, it's like
You seen broken glasses everywhere.
No, but I'm saying it's like jumping out of the shower into the ocean.
Saw what I did there?
Yeah, that was good.
And roaches.
Yeah.
And fucking rats.
Yeah. So do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're going from having your toe in the water to being fully immersed. And so on the radio, WJLB, God bless WJLB, 97.9, it was like, holy shit, what's happening? You know, every night there's Gary Chandler was on the radio going haywire. And I was like, what is happening? This dude's on the radio. I asked my dad if he would take me to the radio station just to see what was happening. You know what I mean? And like, listen, my dad is not a college graduate, worked on the line, worked his way up. Like he didn't quite have the open mind to understand like what I was talking about. Like, but he still took, my dad drove me to Detroit and dropped me off at a movie theater and sat outside while I watched New Jack City, like by myself. Like I was like into that shit, like so much that then, like I said, God bless my dad. I think it, to him, maybe he thought it led me to selling drugs for a long time because he doesn't think that I could make any money like off doing music.
Yeah.
So like it probably twisted him up a little bit, but he took me to all these things. I got to see these things. Like there was a program on TV called The New Dance Show. And The New Dance Show was like a hood soul train that like only in Detroit. Reggie Watkins was the host. And is it right? Reggie Watkins. RJ Watkins.
Okay.
RJ Watkins was the host. And it was like in a warehouse in some corner of Detroit, and they were playing all this like techno house, you know, precursors, ghetto tech, like some Miami bass, hip hop stuff, and all these people are dancing to it, but it's not like Soul Train where it's like manicured. It's like people were wilding out. Mm-hmm. I would run home from school every day to like try and catch the New Dance Show to see what was happening. And it's just like, you're bathed in culture. Like Detroit is, for people that haven't been to Detroit, like it's not a landmark that you go there to see. Yeah. It's the interaction between people, and it's the vibe of the place, and it's like going to eat at a Coney Island or listening to the radio. You're submerged in it up to your eyeballs.
The emotion just drives everything there.
Yeah, and like the music is like, it's like fertilizer for art and for music, and especially music, because like you got Detroit Rock City, you got Motown, you got all of these different melting pots. And I say this a lot, and I'll say it again here. There's a dude named Electrifying Mojo who used to play this thing called the Midnight Funk Association. You should look it up. Everybody should look it up. You used to go down to Detroit, like and ride on Jefferson, and everybody would be playing this at the same time. And he would be like, yo, if you're listening to me in the car right now, honk your horn, bum, 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 bum. And the whole entire riverfront would just like, rah, rah, rah. People are like just going haywire, getting out of the cars. It was like Freaknik every Friday, Saturday night in Detroit. Magical. Like magical.
And then how, like, when this stuff was happening, how old were you? Like,
I mean, so
high school?
I mean, again, to the chagrin of my parents, it was like we would every single time I could go stay over at like one of my friends' house. It was like, let's go to Detroit, right? Like, let's get out of here. Somebody's older brother would take us, or when we could drive, we would drive. And it's like, I'll tell you more about that, like maybe off the record. But like, it's like you were Detroit's not a safe place. You know what I'm saying? Like but when you're 15 or 14, you're not thinking about that shit. You're not thinking about like somebody might stab me in the neck, like or like why am I the only white motherfucker in a 12 block radius? Like you're just like, yo, this is the best place of all time. And to be frank, people are probably like, who's this little white motherfucker walking around here too? You know? So it's like it was like the beginning of techno, because like hip hop was happening in New York, or had been happening in New York, and was kind of getting this, it was weaning off the Renaissance part of it. Like the part where you go on Beach Street and there's like a dude grabbing a plug from a lamppost and plugging it into something and like playing a house party. That was happening in Detroit with techno at the time. And there was like back to Electrifying Mojo. This guy used to play the Midnight Funk Association. He'd play hip hop, Prince, Funkadelic, Kraftwerk, Yellow Magic Orchestra, like all these crazy kind of like blended stuff. And like people were like, what is this? Because nobody, like in a area where it's like, oh, well, everybody just wants to listen to this kind of music. This motherfucker was like, no, this is some funky shit. Like you should be listening to. These are four of the whitest motherfuckers you've ever seen in your life, from Berlin, from Munich. And they are banging. And all of a sudden he's playing it right between, you know, Prince's first record and some old Funkadelic, and you get Kraftwerk in the middle. Like he wasn't blending them together, but you're like, what the fuck is that? Because that is funky, right? So he's educating people. So then you get this whole entire movement of these kids that can't afford to take music lessons or can't do whatever and blah, blah. And they're going and getting drum machines and they're trying to emulate this whole thing. And this is not me. This is when I was very young. Yeah. But you start hearing that pop up on the new dance show because it's a local guy that's making this thing. Jesse the Body was the name of the DJ on the new dance show. And he's up there cutting it and playing these songs that are local songs. And you go to the record store and there's like all this whole local section of these records. And you're like, oh shit, this is dope. And then when I was 16, you start going to these parties where they're dragging a plug in from you know, whatever. It's in an abandoned house. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, the average home price in Detroit was $6,000. $6,000. This is like 25 years ago, right? $6,000. So there were more abandoned homes in Detroit than any other city in the United States. And so, as a matter of fact, they would burn down homes on the day before Halloween. It's called Devil's Night. And they would burn down hundreds of homes just because like people didn't have shit to do. Yeah. Throw a fucking Molotov cocktail in the house, burn it down. So you have entire city blocks that are unoccupied. You know, and people would throw parties in them. And when you're in the party, you felt like you were in Ibiza. You know what I mean? Like, because it was so beautiful. And it wasn't just,
Where'd they get all the power from?
From a lamp, from a post. I'm telling you, bust it open a lamppost or run wherever you could find power. There would be extension cords running from wherever you could get the power.
It must have been a
house that still had power hooked up to the grid, because a lot of them got locked out, but there might be like one that still worked. And they would go find it, plan the party there, drag the speakers down there. They leave a flyer at a 7-Eleven or whatever. You call a phone from a payphone or a pager. They tell you where to show up, and you show up, give $20, stand in there. And it wasn't dangerous. It was black, Latino, gay, old, young, white, straight, like whatever. And everybody that was there for the music.
I mean, that's kind of how we grew up too, man. Like in high school when they used to have all those parties and stuff like that. But I got a question. Yeah. Am I tripping, or I heard you, I remember a lot of stories you tell me, man, and you said that Kid Rock was a dope ass DJ.
I don't know if I said Kid Rock was a dope ass DJ. But he was big in Detroit at the beginning, and I'll tell you why.
And it was he did a lot of hip hop before, right?
Yeah, he was the first. He was signed to Jive Records with Too Short and Ice Cube.
Really?
Yeah, Jive Records signed him. I think it was like during the Short Dogs in the House record time, and in Ice Cube's first record, America's Most Wanted. Like he was signed. He had a record called Grit Sandwiches for Breakfast or some shit like that. It was a cartoon record where it was like all goofy and he had a fake high top fade. Like that dude's got pin straight hair. So like they had him like,
Yeah.
you know, today it would never fly, right? But like, back then he was doing what he could. I don't know. But this dude's from Mount Clemens, Romeo. Like he's from the sticks, right?
Yeah.
Like he's not from Detroit. But like you didn't have to be from Detroit to get, the culture was so big that like it spilled out everywhere. And people from the suburbs came to Detroit, and people from Detroit, you know, didn't always go to the suburbs.
Look at that shit.
Yeah, but look at the cover for his album. Look at the cover for his album.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Can you see it? He used to have a full blown like Vanilla Ice like thing going on. But this is like at record time. Yeah, bro, that's what I'm talking about. Record time. Like we used to go to record time to get the records. That's like local artists. Long story short, he was like, hip hop was like burgeoning out into the universe at that time. You know what I mean? Like coming out of New York and doing whatever it was doing. So people were looking for something new everywhere.
Yeah.
And he had a song called Yodeling in the Valley, which is a euphemism for eating a girl out. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that bad of a song. It was actually pretty funny. It was like comedic, you know, the song. And whatever. He was on tour with Ice Cube and Too Short.
Never knew that.
So like what? I mean, he, by all standards of like a new artist, like he blew up.
Yeah.
Right. But people only bought it for so long. I think in one album, and then he had to change it up. But he's a hustler, dude.
Yeah.
Kid Rock's a hustler.
So when you came to Chicago, obviously, I want to talk about when we met and things like that. I guess I just want to know from your perspective, from knowing me and Sye, right? Mm-hmm. Like you said, we've known each other. Has it been 25 years?
It's been...
Nah, it hasn't been that long.
20 years.
It's about 20
years, dude. Probably longer.
20 years.
I moved here in 2002.
Yeah.
So it had to be before 2005. I mean, we're on 20.
Yeah, because I remember celebrities and, you know, I don't want to go too far. Yeah, I don't want to go too far in the celebrity, but obviously for me, that was where I got my, what do you say how you get your chops?
Yeah.
And obviously you gave me that opportunity
Yeah.
every Friday with like AC and like all those guys.
So hold up real quick. So the story behind the whole thing, right? We were DJing
Just
out.
the thing he does.
Yeah,
he interrupts me all the time.
We're gonna get back to your question. Remember your question. So we're in college. We went to college down the street from each other, and we graduated. He was in his last semester, and we moved into a crib by ourselves. So we were DJing out in Elmhurst, and he goes, "Man, let's just make these CDs."
What the fuck were you doing, DJ in Elmhurst?
Bro,
Go ahead.
we were out in Elmhurst, so that's where I went to college.
Yeah.
He goes, "Man, I'm gonna go bring out these CDs." And I was like, "Fuck it, I'll make some CDs too." We both made CDs, and we went on a mission on a Thursday night to start going out downtown.
Yeah.
We went to Cherry Red.
Yep.
And we saw E6.
Yep.
And he was like, boom, gave me E6.
Yep.
That's back in the day when I had a Dell computer.
Yeah, those are fair.
And E6 listened to his mixtape and said, "Yo, come to Celebrities." Gave him a shot at Celebrities DJ.
Yeah.
And then
Was E6 booking for you? I don't even know how I got
E6. I remember E6. Whenever he couldn't work DJ at Celebrities, E6 DJ, and I guess E6 couldn't DJ at one of those nights, and that's when he put you in there.
Okay,
That's possible.
that's possible.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, there's a lot of critical moments between that and like where it dropped off, but I'll abbreviate them.
Okay.
So I started a club in college, all hip hop. It was like this crazy
Where did you go to college?
Western Michigan.
Okay.
Started this hip hop club. It was the biggest hip hop club in Michigan, period. Not Detroit had smaller hip hop clubs than this club I made up in Kalamazoo. And so it went for a while, and like many hip hop clubs that are banging, it fell the way of the dog. So after that, I went and bought a club, a tiny club, probably as big as this room. And I changed, didn't play hip hop at all anymore. Played techno. And I had like really big techno people come in. Miss Kitten, John Aquaviva, The Hacker, Trax, Theo Parrish, like really big people at the time. And that ran for about 2 years, and it went really well. But like I was 24 years old, you know, and I ran out of space. Like it got to the point where it was like, I can't get any bigger here. I got to figure something else out to do. And so that's when I moved to Chicago. I'm like, oh, I'm going to open another club like in Chicago. I'm going to open up a little bar. And got here and like fell flat on my face because like the rules here are completely different than they are in Michigan. So it took me like 6 months to even figure that out, that I was going to fall flat on my face. And then another year to figure out how to actually do it. So then I went back to DJing here with Arturo Gomez, because me and Gomez knew each other from Michigan. So I did Biology Bar and like then from Biology Bar to Le Passage, and then Le Passage was fucking haywire.
Le Passage, that's what changed our lives, bro.
Haywire.
Bro, you used to have a cigarette at the corner of the turntable, bro.
Yeah, I was like,
if we used to be like this, they would just stand there.
Yo, we used to come in there and watch the cigarette, bro. Listen to you, and that's, man, you don't understand the impact you've made on our lives, bro.
Oh,
like,
thanks, man. Well,
like,
I'm hopefully in a good way. Yeah.
Did you know? So I used to coach wrestling.
I remember. Actually.
And I used to come after I got done DJing at LBC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lakeview Broadcasting Company, LBC.
Yeah.
I used to make my way over to La Passage to see you close out.
Yeah.
And man, the way you used to drop like Cheers theme song.
Yeah, man.
At like 2 a.m. in the morning, and people are just going crazy over that shit. I remember I was like, yo, man, you don't know me, but if you ever need me to DJ or anything, I'm in the rafters.
Yeah. So all that kind of stuff like happened like concurrently, right? Like I did Le Passage, it was banging. Then it was like Manor came up. Like everybody gets their like moment, like where they're the big man on campus in the city, and like that was my moment, whatever that was, 2003, 2004, and any club, I was charging people amount of money that at the time was ridiculous. Like nobody was getting paid that much. And it was because like, if I moved, it was over because I was doing shit that nobody else, people were coming to my shit like after to figure out what the fuck was going on. Right. And it was like, everybody was playing the same shit. Right. And then like I was playing the Revenge of the Nerds, like theme song, and like fucking whatever was, Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse of the Heart, and into Tank or whatever was going on right at the time. Mm-hmm. And so it was pre-mashup shit. Like I just liked so much music that I was like, I can figure out a way to stick in this Bill Withers song before this Dr. Dre song, and then go right into the Bee Gees, and nobody's gonna care.
But listen to how that comes back around. Like you said earlier that those parties, my man used to throw in those funky stuff between.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So in just a passionate love for discovering music over a long period of time, while everybody else is like, oh, I got to play A, B, C, D, E, F, G to get these people hype. I'm like, I don't give a shit if you're hype or not. I don't give a fuck. If I'm hype, everybody's hype, because I'm the most important person here. And if I can get 3 people hype in here, if I can spot, I still do this actually.
Yeah.
I walk into a place and I look for 3 people that I think are the important people in the room, and I DJ for those 3 people. Like I don't DJ for a crowd. I DJ for 3 people I'm locked in on, which sucks sometimes because they might like have another thing they gotta go to, or they have to go to the bathroom, and like they made out with the girl that they were with, and she's like, let's get out of here. And so it's like you kind of like lose the fish. But like what I'm saying is, back then till today, that is my approach. Come in, find the most important people in the room, and DJ for those 3 people.
Yeah.
And that was the idea. If I can get this guy hype, if I watch his reaction when I play this off-kilter thing, then I can take it a step further and go off-kilter. Once I bring him back, I can go even crazier. Then I can go even crazier.
Yeah.
Then I go even crazier. And when it came to Serato, not to skip forward again, but it came to Serato, all bets were off. Like I was playing Taz Zonde, Chocolate Rain in the club, and playing like 1877 Cars for Kids, and like crazy shit, like where people are like, what just happened?
Yeah. Bro, that was us in the crowd.
But that is what to this day, that's what influenced our style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just playing random stuff that we can just stick in there.
Yeah.
And obviously today, I don't play as random as I used to. Like when I
still do
playing at like, underground and all these things in 2006. But, that type of being able to mix like just different genres and things like that is what we do. And I think because we were able to, harness all that stuff, that's exactly why we're successful today.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because like that is hard for people to grasp. Like DJs don't understand this stuff.
Yeah, people put a higher. They used to. I don't think it's so true anymore because there's so much stuff out there and it's so easy to put in to your stuff, right? But like, it would be unheard of to go down and play "Don't Stop Believin'" at a hip hop club at Biology Bar. Biology Bar, like, you know, I met John Monopoly and Kanye and Timbuktu and you know, Happy and all these people at Biology Bar. It was a hip hop bar.
Yeah.
I was playing the most beautifulest thing in the world by Keith Murray, you know? And then I play "Don't Stop Believin'" or like whatever to nothing but black people. Who says black people don't like "Don't Stop Believin'"?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. So like part of this is that when I was in college, I would play, this is probably something you don't know either, but I was in a fraternity, a white fraternity, Sigma Alpha Epsilon. And I played all of the white people fraternity parties. 4 white people, white guy, myself, all these things. I also lived with 3 Alpha Phi Alphas. And these guys lived across the dorm from me when I was a freshman. They were pledging Alpha while I was pledging SAE. And they were missing their DJ one night because he was coming from across, it was a DJ named Crazy Kaz. He was coming from Lansing. He got stuck because it was snowing. We need you to DJ our party. I was like, I'm not DJing your fucking party, dude. And they were like, we want you to DJ this party. I was like, we don't have anybody else. I was like, you got to put me by the back door in case shit goes haywire. I got to get the fuck out of here. And you know, I went, I played the party, and it wasn't cool to be a DJ back then. So you weren't even the mark. Nobody's looking for you as a DJ. Like, I don't think anybody even knew it was me, you know, or didn't know it was Crazy Cats. I played the party. Everybody was like, what the fuck, dude? That was nuts, right? Like, that was crazy because I applied those tactics even then, right?
Yeah.
So I'm playing whatever. I don't remember what I was playing, but like at a normal party, they were hearing X, Y, and Z, and just by ex facto, I'm playing A, B, and C, right?
Yeah.
And X, Y, and Z, right? And so they were like, you got to do our next one. We want to make it a big deal, like blah, blah. And, you know, it worked because I was like a fucking white dude, and it was like, but bringing a giraffe to DJ your party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, who the fuck is this white dude in here playing, right? So anyway, I played it, and then I finally realized after I ended up doing all the parties for the Alphas. I ended up doing all the parties for the Deltas, and then all the girl parties, you know, Kappas and AKAs. Every party, I did every party for both things. I was doing all the fraternity parties on one side, all the fraternity parties on the other side.
Same. We did the same thing too.
Yeah,
I was the black dude in the white sorority party DJ.
Yeah.
Me and him.
Yeah. So, long story short, all my best friends were Alphas. Mm-hmm. They're coming here in 2 weeks. You know, like I still hang out with these guys. Talk to them on a regular basis. We decided that we were going to make our sister sororities each other's sister sororities, and we were going to be brother fraternities for a semester, which was the first time a black and white fraternity historically got on to do that on campus, right?
Really?
So now we're mixing for one semester. All the guys from Alpha are coming in, showing people the line dances. Some of these white motherfuckers never saw any of that before, right?
Yeah.
I felt lucky to be immersed in it. I wanted to show what was going on. So we used to have parties together. The girls all got together. They did the things on their own. The guys got together, did things on their own. We got a chance to experience each other's cultures because I was playing the exact same fucking music for all the black people as I was all the white people. It was like the exact same music. And I'm like, why can't we all have a party together? Like, that would be dope.
Yeah.
And so over the years, like, we all became like bonded, and like it was still funny. Like, when my guys showed up at like the hip hop shit, they would be like, "Oh, fuck, the Backstreet Boys are here." You know what I mean? Like, and like the black guys would show up and be like, "What's going on?" You know what I mean? It's like so people still like look and turn and like say whatever, but like we became like close buddies. Like, over not just me and my guys, but like guys that still talk, right? Yeah. So at the end, they made me an honorary member of Alpha. Like, I would never dare pledge a historically black fraternity for a number of reasons, but like. You know, people do, and I'm not saying that's like a bad thing, but like I know how hard these guys had it, and like what it means to these guys, and what the actual background of Alpha is. Like, I got a chance to like sit and listen and understand. And it's for like, this is bad. I don't know if I'm supposed to be even saying this, but like it's meant to uplift young black men and bond them fraternally to be great in the universe.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like it was my place to ever pledge that fraternity, but I was so close to these guys. I mean, like, honest to God, like, still my best friends to this day. And they let me step in the final show, like my senior year. They like asked me if I would come and step in their senior homecoming.
That's
like all
dope.
these guys.
You have video of this?
I'm sure it's out there somewhere. It was actually funny because I made the music for it, and they were doing, you know, I don't know if people know about stepping, but there's certain songs at the time, like the Q's like had Atomic Dog because they're the Q Dogs, and like they would come out
wait, it's a underground. What is it? What's the song?
for the Alphas.
Yeah, it's like
It changes over time.
Yeah,
And some of them
something
stick, some of
underground.
them do whatever. But anyway, the particular show came out. They did there's music. There's part where they step on a line, and then there's part where there's like actual, like it's just, you know, where they're all spattered out, like, whatever. And so when the line starts and it starts stepping around, there's a song that they were playing, and then I mixed it together, and then all of a sudden it sounded like the record quit. And then we played Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice, and I walked out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody, I know that this is on video somewhere, but everybody lost their shit. The whole place went absolutely
what the
crazy because
fuck?
it was in like a 5,000 person place. And so everybody lost their shit, and then we went right back to stepping, and like I got a chance to do it. It was really, really cool. It's like probably one of the coolest moments of my whole life. But anyway, long story short, all of that input, you know what I mean? Accepting input, trying to understand people, trying to look at what's going on, trying to broaden your horizons and musically, and understand different genres and what people react to. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of lost importance a little now. I think more than when we were coming up or whatever. It was like you would go and stand behind a DJ for 5 hours.
Yo,
Not talk to anybody, not, you know, have a couple of drinks, like sit there with literally like a fucking pencil and a piece of paper and be like,
but that's what we did.
That's
at
what we
Lake
did.
Massage.
yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I would literally just go there, my jacket's still on, just stand like right on the corner.
Yeah.
yeah. But
Wait for you to come out the booth, like watch the stuff. All right.
Yeah, but I mean, like, this is a testament to like goodwill, right? Like, I mean, like I never was like, get the fuck out of here, guys, or like never. When back then, when someone like yourself was interested, someone like myself who was a couple years before you guys, I would be like, yo, come in, let's all fucking learn about this. Let me show you what this is.
Yeah.
Let's go over here and do this. Let's try and figure this out. Like, because you showed a passion for it, and I wanted you to grow in that passion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like have whatever happen. It's the same exact thing that I was just talking about, the $1,500 shot, the $50,000 shot, whatever. You get all these shots, like you try and give people shot. Some of them work, some of them don't, right? And you pivot and you learn, and I'm sure you do the same exact thing for other people now. You're doing for other people now what I did for you. It's a chain of
Yeah, but
except
these
that
kids,
nowadays you got to tell them. So I got, you know, one kid right now that I'm training. He's actually, I think he's going to be really, really good because he just has a passion for music.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yo, right now, I was like, when he first started, he started from scratch. He didn't know anything about DJing. I gave him like a little controller, like everything. Okay, here's what you get. I gave him my music pool. It's like, yo, but I didn't give him any music. I was just like, hey, I'm going to give you the access, but you got to still go build the database for yourself because you got to learn about all these different type of things. But going to where we're talking about watching and things like that, I'm like, hey, I had him like kind of open and but like, hey, but you're going to be here the whole night.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause you have to see what happens.
Yeah.
It's not just come open up and then like leave. But I think that kids that are learning, they don't have that stamp. They don't have that anymore to like just go and watch.
Yeah, because it's a different game, dog.
Yeah.
It's a different game. Like right now, I mean, can you imagine? Like, I don't even know. I can't even think of it. Like, the amount of time you have to spend doing something over and over again, especially if you're not like 100, like church music trained. It's like to know that this record's in this key and this record. Now it tells you what key it's in.
Yeah.
Now it tells you what BPM it is. Now you don't even need to know the BPM because you can push a button and it syncs them both the same together and keeps it in pitch.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like any dickhead who thinks he is a scientist because he listens to Jay-Z. Like, you know what I mean? Two of your buddies like this record that you played. Now you think you can go out and do whatever. It's like the system is a bit broken because what the system was built on before was love, and now it's commerce. How much money you motherfuckers are making $500 a night to go out and play records? I can play records. I got records. I don't have to learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The entry point is so much lower than it was before. Because when you did it, you had to leave the house. You had to go do whatever you were doing, wrestling coach. Then you had to finish that. Then you had to go to the club with a pen and a paper or whatever and write shit down. You had to make friends with me. We had to go to the record store. We had to look for records. We had to talk to the guy at the record store to find out what the records were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then develop like a formula to like see what it was. Go to other clubs, see what they were doing. It was like a whole thing.
Yeah, man,
like
'cause-
now it's like, and like, oh shit, let me Google like what the hottest wedding songs are and then go play this
Yeah.
wedding. Well, that's not it. That's not the job. That's a job.
Yeah.
You should be getting paid $100 for that job, right? Because you left your house and you should make $20 an hour. That's what that job is. But people don't know the difference. Even people that are hiring people don't know the difference, right?
Yeah.
So it's like anybody can be called a DJ. Well, what the fuck is a DJ? What's a DJ? If I have my phone, I can plug it in and play song after song. Am I DJing? Yeah, technically you are DJing. But like
True.
the difference is when we were DJing, we were learning how to be shaman. You know what I mean? We were
Yeah.
learning how to be the high priest of like the church, right? Now it's like you're looking at the dude. I don't even know who the dude is, right?
Yeah.
It's a dude who could just like say like, oh, here, let me plug my phone in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we've gone to a different time, but I think that all stuff in music, it's cyclical. It's the pendulum, the balls, when you drop the ball and
Yeah.
the ball comes out, it's like eventually it swings back. So in the absence of a large amount of people that are shaman, right now the shaman level has gone down and the dickhead level has gone sky through the roof.
Yeah.
It's like the shaman get a chance to practice and quiet again until
Yeah.
they can come back out and everybody realizes who they are, right?
Yeah.
That's my vibe on it.
You got a question?
Yeah, man. I just want to say, like, this is what, like, just watching, right? Watching you DJ. But I'll never forget the day when you was like, yo, I got a DJ on this yacht for 3 days.
Oh yeah, that was a good gig.
Yeah.
Did you guys go with me to that?
So
I went with you
Let
for-
me set this question up.
Okay.
Was the yacht an event?
It was.
All right. Just because obviously the DJ firm, we do events. So I do want to get into some events talk with
Yeah,
you
sure.
because I'm sure you've been around a lot of dope
Yeah.
ass events and you've
Yeah.
been around a lot of shit events. So I just want to say that, talk about you.
So this event we did was on a yacht.
Yeah.
And
It was called the Battered Bull.
Wait, you
Battered
were there
Bull.
too?
Yeah,
For 3 straight days?
3 straight days. This was like,
How did I not go?
because I
Probably
think
too cool.
no,
no.
because I think this was like my hazing period was over because Paul was like, yo, you're going to be on this boat with me for 3 days. We're going to DJ for this rich dude that owned Home Depot and Blockbuster.
That might have been it.
Yep, I remember. And it was just 3 days straight, bro. And I literally stand back right next to
Do you
you
want to know what's
watching.
crazy about that? It
What?
only started as 1 day until we did the party, and then it turned into 2 more days.
Yeah,
That was I remember that. very
Where was this
specifically.
yacht?
it was just sitting on Lake Michigan.
Yeah, it was outside of the
Oh,
aquarium.
it was in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he was getting ready to go to South Africa.
Me?
No,
That guy.
That guy.
Yeah.
But he was going to meet the boat there because of the pirate shit. Because how?
Oh, right.
Yep. But man, it was literally the staff, him and his wife, and like 4 other people on this shit, bro.
The first party. This is crazy because I totally remember this now. The first party was like, we're pulling in. We can only be here for 24 hours because like once we park this boat, after this finite amount of time, we have to pay X amount of % per day that the value of the boat is. So let's say the boat costs $100 million. every day past the time that you could say you had to pay 5% of the boat's worth to dock after that amount of time. So you get a freebie for whatever it was. Maybe it was a week and they were there for a week and they were throwing the party on the last night.
Yeah.
So they pull up, they throw this party, and I don't even remember what the party was for. I actually don't even remember who asked me to go do it.
It was for his wife. It was just him.
Okay, so
and
him and his wife, and they threw a party.
Yeah.
Okay, but was that the first one or the second one? Because then they asked me, he had a college reunion
Yeah.
that they were supposed to do, and then they changed the venue because they were like, fuck it, we're gonna keep the boat here and do it on the boat.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, how much does that cost?
Yeah.
Well, you're not paying me enough for you're paying that much to leave a boat here for a day? Like, I want to get paid more.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, like they ended up throwing one party. It was supposed to be their farewell for the voyage or whatever, and then they ended up doing 2 more nights in a row, I think.
So basically, like, bro, that's when I really understood, like, I saw true open format DJing, bro. And then that's when Paul was like, all right, bro, you did this with me for 3 days. You can go to Milwaukee.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But that's true, because like when you're, you know how hard it is to play. This dude was like 99, dog.
Yes. And he was just sitting there.
But he graduated from college in like 1938.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like whatever it was. So like they were doing their 70th year college anniversary reunion. He was like, you want to do it? And I was like, okay. Because it was a lot of money. I mean, it was good money. Because like I said, they said they were staying extra night. I was like, oh, if you're paying $500,000 to stay another night, I'd like to get paid.
And I do remember how much it was to stay extra.
Yeah.
It was $2 million.
But yeah, something crazy. It
was
like that.
$2 million.
So what's crazy is that I had to play. This is Serato time, so I had to go and figure out like what the top hits on Billboard were, like the first year Billboard was invented, right? And then like build the whole entire party around that. And it went off. It went off so much that it was the third day. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but there was more people on the boat.
No, bro.
Dude, the first day it was probably, I think, if maybe I'm wrong, but the first day it was like probably like 50 people, 30 people. Second day it was like 13 people. And the third day it was like 4 people.
Y'all got breaks?
Nah, we were there,
dude,
bro.
It was just like,
Yeah.
but didn't you split time?
Oh, no,
with
I mean,
him?
we didn't stay on the boat. I mean, it was like at night or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we weren't like fucking Isaac and Captain Steuben on the Love Boat together.
when you're talking about those tactics you use, like you still apply those tactics that, you know, when you were doing in the club, like how does that work into like when you were doing events or do events like that? Or is it just, okay, at that time I'm getting paid for an event?
No,
how do you mix all that stuff? Because obviously we get paid for events, but like we still want to make our shit cool. So like obviously clients want what they want.
Yeah.
But like, do you still do a lot of that stuff to like, which kind of sets you apart when that's why people want you for events? Does that make sense?
I think that there's a tipping point for that. And there's probably multiple tipping points for it, right? Like watching a stock go up where it's like it peaks and then it valleys and then it peaks and it valleys. And what I'm saying is for like how you act as a DJ. It's like you get to a certain point, you're this DJ farm, somebody calls and says, these guys did great for my event and like you should have them. And then you go and they don't know anything about you personally. You don't really know anything about them. So you just do what you normally do, right? But then somebody calls you for a wedding and you're like, say, oh, I want it. Let me meet the bride and groom. And the groom says, you know what song I really love? No Vaseline by Ice Cube. And you're like, oh shit, how am I going to work this into the thing, right? And so there's like a level of craftsmanship that goes into playing No Vaseline at a wedding, which by the way I think I've done before. Shout out to Gordon.
How many
Clements.
weddings have you played in your lifetime?
5. Yeah, like 5.
What's the most you've been paid for a wedding?
Did you MC these weddings too? Like do the whole like grand entrance and shit?
Huh? No. Usually when I do like an event like that, and it's not because I wouldn't. It's just because I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'd rather overpay somebody who's really good at that part to do that part.
Yeah,
and
you
then
can pay me to
just
come
DJ.
in.
Yeah, I would.
very
If
good.
somebody ever asked me to do a wedding again, I would.
I have a question. Have you ever DJ'd a wedding with your shirt off?
Oh, I don't think so. It's possible though. It's possible.
I mean, I remember, and I don't know like what was going on in your lifetime when
Yeah.
this shirt off shit was happening.
Yeah. I feel like I invented
In
shirt
the
off
club,
DJ.
in the clubs, like, oh shit, Paul got his shirt off.
Yeah, I was a few tequilas in, bro.
Yeah.
And
I
then
feel like I feel like
people started taking their shirt off in Milwaukee.
I feel like I invented shirt off DJ. I really feel like I invented
as soon
shirt
as I
off
saw
DJ.
Broadway Street start taking his shirt off,
Man. That's a different shirt off approach.
I never took my shirt off. No, sir.
oh man.
But
That's
no,
great.
yeah, I guess that just means you're feeling it.
What about the? I know you used to do the green tie ball a lot.
I did
Was that a good event?
I did that without my shirt on one time for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
That was
sure.
a charity, right? I don't even think it happens anymore.
Well, I'm not around Chicago as much as I used to be, but like, listen, part of let me address that. Like, for me personally, like, I really feel like it's everybody's responsible. This is outside of DJing. I feel like it's everybody's responsibility on the planet to give back in the best way that they can possibly give back, right? Like the best way they know how to do it. And like, you know, I could throw a hammer around and build some shit or whatever. I did Habitat for Humanity when I was a kid. I know how to do that. But like, I'm not somebody who can walk into a charity like that and be like, oh, I'm going to drop $150,000 for you guys to go do whatever. So like, my best effort in most charitable things is say like, yo, I'll come and play the music, right?
Yeah.
So that's for Green Tie. That's like kind of what I did. Like, okay, you guys want to do it? I'll sit on the board. We'll discuss how we can make this party like the best party humanly possible. Did you go to the Green Tie that year or not?
No, I
it was
didn't.
the best Green Tie of all time. I mean, I've only been to 2 of them, like whatever. But like this, I had fake karaoke. So like, I just brought a bunch of artists from Chicago that like would
do
come and
remember
sing
that.
that nobody knew they were coming. So like, I DJ'd and like Aaron Allen Kane, who just won a Grammy with Killer Mike, like this last Grammy, that came up and sang a song. And then Anthony Pavel, who like sang I Feel Good, the hook for I Feel Good. This is fucking 10 years ago before anybody did any of this stuff. But like, just artists that I liked in Chicago that I thought were really great singers. And then I let people from the crowd come up and sing a song. So like, I was mixing in like people from Chicago that I knew were dope, that were about to be dope, or like a little bit under the radar, and like, okay, come and like do this song and blah blah, and then, hey Bill, you want to sing a song? Hey, hey John, you want to sing a song? So John would come up, sing a song, and people would think it was funny. I don't know, I just thought it was a cool thing to do. And at the very end, I had my buddy Robbie come up and do Overnight Celebrity, and he sucked at it because anybody who's not Twisted sucks at it. And then Twisted came out and did it. I brought Twisted with me to the Green Tie Ball, and he came out and actually did it. He was like, "Get the fuck out of here, man!" so he did it, and that was like the closeout of the set. But it was really fun. But like that for me is the way I could contribute, because Chicago is one of the greenest, if not the greenest city in America. It's like one of the greenest cities, like on, in the U.S. So they put a lot of effort towards green
So like, maybe
initiatives.
you
So-
could give us advice too, because I mean, we get a lot of non-profit charities things like hitting us up, and I don't know if I found my calling yet on where to give back. I know as the DJ firm, we want to give back and we want to do things, but there's just so much. There's so many nonprofits. There's so many people, and it's just like, there's only so much you could do to give back in a year.
Sure.
Because we are a for-profit business. Like, outside of just, obviously, we gotta, spend time maybe figuring out where we want to give back. But what advice would you have in that situation? Just
there's certain things that I love, like that align with my values, right? Like so, Camp Out for Kids is a charity where they send kids from the city out into nature. Kids that might not ever have a chance to go into the woods. While they're young, this is what the woods look like. I feel like everybody should see what the woods look like. You know what I mean? And so I try my best to help them with music stuff and whatever, whenever I can. Special Olympics. I love Special Olympics.
Shit.
Like, I feel like I did their World Games a couple times. I helped programs and stuff with them. I'm actually going, I think it's like in 3 weeks, like they're doing at Soldier Field. They're doing their games. I'm going out there, but I'm not DJing. I'm literally going to hand out water and T-shirts and shit. I love Special Olympics. Best party I've ever DJed in my entire life was the games in Seattle. I had the most fun ever DJing. I swear to God, put it on my tombstone. It was the best party I've ever DJed ever. Was the Special Olympics in Seattle. I love doing it. And it's a good organization.
What was special about it?
I mean, listen, dude, I'm an emotional cat. Like I get emotional like pretty easily. And it just was like watching people achieve and like people come together and families come together. And it's like, you know, we often in life, I feel like we get caught up in our own shit all the time. This happened to me today. Oh, fuck, man. The coffee shop was closed or somebody didn't bring me the right fucking coffee. It's like that.
Brought me Dunkin' Donuts.
It's like, you know, you got to be able to see the world from a higher viewpoint. And there's a lot of people that have problems that I wouldn't be able to handle. There's a lot of people that have things that they need to experience that I got to experience and took for granted. And so when I have a chance to like see something, right? Like, I don't know, man, help build a house for somebody that didn't have the money to put a roof on their house and see the joy, it makes you appreciate what you have like so much better. When you see a family coming together and a kid being able to compete that was not only unable to compete, but like completely ostracized. You know what? Like competition is a healthy part of life. Like understanding like group, you know, joy and like winning or losing or just being able to be a part of a group. It's like a lot of these kids, Special Olympics, never ever had a chance growing up without the Special Olympics to be a part of a team, winning team, losing team, whatever kind of like, whatever it is. So like just to see the joy or like the consoling of when you lose, it's like just being surrounded with that kind of thing just makes you so happy. I think a lot of times we think a little shit, right? Like I would say like the last 2 years, I've faced challenges in my personal life that I've never faced ever in my entire life. Just crazy shit, you know?
Yeah.
Dumb shit. Yeah. My lawyer manager that I had for 15 years just fucked me over completely. Like I figured it out in 2020. And instead of like rectifying it, this motherfucker just went, no, I got to sue the motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there doing a bunch of shit that I don't want to do. This human piece of shit fucked me for a long time and just didn't own up to it. If I fucked you, if you guys brought me in here today and you were like, Paul, you remember that time you fucking did this? I'd be like, sorry, man. Yeah. Let's figure out a way to fix that. This motherfucker, I had papers and was like, dude, where are these? Where's this? What happened here? I don't remember that. I didn't do that. I'm like, I have 70 instances of you sending me emails where you say that I own 5% of this. Where's the 5%? I don't know what you're talking about. So going through that is an emotional struggle, right? Other personal shit that I actually don't want to get into, but let's just say I have 3 cases of civil unrest like going at the same time. One thing would break a motherfucker's head off, but like I'm dealing with 3 of them at the same time, all from people that I don't owe anything to. Yeah. It's people that took or people that are taking. Yeah. Not me defending myself, me saying give me my shit back, or like me saying like let's fucking figure this out and move on with our lives. Like, you know, it's like, so dealing with all that stuff, it can weigh you the fuck down, right? But yo, I got my hands and my feet and I can see and I can kind of hear. I'm pretty deaf at this point, but like, you know what I mean? Like how much money would you pay to not have both your eyes if you were missing one of them? You know what I mean? So it's like I don't know that I would have been able to handle all the shit that I'm going through right now 10 years ago because I wasn't equipped mentally to do it. I was drunk without a shirt on in a nightclub, blasting off whatever it was. And so it's like through the process of like learning about yourself, through helping other people and helping other people and making that part of your daily routine, like it is to work out or it is to, you know, whatever, meditate or whatever. I think as a young person, I just didn't understand it because when you're a young person, you got to fucking, you know, you got a one-track mind and you're trying to figure out like what's going on and like, you know, achieve and collect money. And like now I just realized that like, fuck man, every single time I make a $10. I want to be able to do something that's worth $1, $2, 50 cents, whatever it is. Like I'm trying to set up a thing because as soon as I leave here today, I'm going to Costco to buy paper towels for a dog shelter that I got to take the dog shelter. I'm going to walk this big ass dog that nobody else can walk, right? Like it's a Great Dane and it's a dog shelter and a bunch of ladies are volunteering and that none of them are big enough. That dog outweighs all the ladies that are volunteering. So I said, I'm going to go up and show up and walk this goddamn dog because
Where's the shelter at?
It's called Border Tails.
Okay.
It's in Northbrook.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a giant Great Dane, and nobody can walk it. So I'm gonna go walk it.
Tell them when you're not here. I'll walk the dog.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it's not. What else would I be doing? You know, like today. I mean, I'm sure I could figure out something else to do, but like, whatever. It's an hour out of your day, dude. You got 24 of them. You know. So whatever it is that you feel like you should be doing, just do that. You don't have to like go hunt it or like go whatever. Just keep it in the back of your head, and you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because you're right. There's a lot of people that have a charity or have their thing or, you know, want something from you, and you have to be really careful about who you're giving your time to. It's not so much your money. Money is replaceable and it's actually quite insignificant. Like, I mean, like in the grand scope of things, right?
Yeah.
But like your time is finite. Money is not finite. They print it all the time. The budget just keeps right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's bullshit. But like your time, like giving your time, giving your skill, your God-given gift for what you have right now or whatever anybody has that's listening, you got to go give that to people. You just got to give it away.
That's why I actually thought of, I'm like, even the thought of money, I'm like, yo, how can we have debt? Just fucking make more money, dude. Like, you make this shit. How, like, you know what I mean? Like, you literally print it. Like, there's no way anybody can ever be in debt for anything.
Anybody who's listening to this podcast probably does not understand finance the way that they should. And that's just because people are artistic. It's like a different part of the brain. But there are motherfuckers out there with like computer-like brains that are sitting there going, like Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind, like, whatever. I'm not one of those people. Dude, I don't even pay attention to what I make. You know what I mean? Like barely. I got a guy that counts it and tells me whether I owe money or whether I get money. And like that's what it is. If I can't afford to buy a Dunkin' Donuts, I just don't buy a Dunkin' Donuts, right? Like if it's like sometimes I can afford it, sometimes I can't. But like for me, art and money like are naturally enemies, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying you shouldn't understand it. You should understand it, but like you don't have to understand complex financial natural debt shit. It's just like, yo, this is what I should be making, this is what I should be paying, this is what I should be giving back, this is how I should be operating, and this is what it takes to live a lifestyle that I want to live. And you got to be honest with yourself about what that lifestyle is. I think I'm getting into a different thing right now, but I'm just the reason why I'm getting into it is because being rich does not equal being happy. I've been fucking the happiest person in the universe giving away everything. Does that make sense? Like giving away my time for days and days on end when I could have been out making $20,000 a day, right? To come back and buy what, dog? Like, you know what I mean? What, I'm gonna buy a car, so I show up in a fucking cooler car so people think I'm cool. I'm cool as fuck. We walk up here in a pair of Jesus sandals, and it's my second Jesus reference, but I can walk up here in a pair of broke down sandals and still be cool. Because I'm cool. You know what I mean?
You are cool, man.
No, but I'm just saying, like, you be cool. Part of being cool is giving shit back to people. So whatever that means for you, just do that.
Anytime you tell me why you keep wearing flannel shit, I'm going to be like, yo, bro, because I'm cool.
You are cool.
Hey.
I love it.
That's fine. You can wear your flannel shit. Just buy new flannel.
Just gotta wash them.
He's literally going to come. This flannel is going to be faded. He's going to be wearing this like 3 years from now.
That's all right.
I love my bro.
Right.
What are you talking about, bro? You wear shit that you've been wearing since we met, Paul, bro. Your club shirts.
I think you're both very handsome and wonderful people.
So that was one of my questions. I didn't get to it. Like, obviously, from when you met us, like, what did you see in us?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yo, Paul.
No,
at one point, we were making you a shit
on.
ton of money, bro.
No. Honestly, no. I mean, you guys are good dudes, man. First off, like you're wonderful friends and wonderful fathers and like just great people. Like, right? I didn't know that then, but like you cared and you worked hard, which is really all it takes to succeed in life.
Yeah.
Is when you care and you work hard. And like, I've heard this from other people throughout the years. It's like, you don't have to be, this is for me, not you guys. You didn't walk up and you're like, hey, check this out. Like I'm Qbert or you know, Rhetmatic or whatever. It was, you showed up, you smiled through it when it sucked even, and because you loved it. People always ask, like, how do you make it in this business? Like, what do I need to do to make it? You have to love it.
Yeah.
If you don't love it, you'll never fucking circumnavigate all the shit that gets thrown at you. I'm sure there was a point in your careers. I know that there was a point in your careers where you were like, I got to make these records and I'm going to go out and be such and such and so and so. And we're going to do Space Invader or whatever. And which is a jam still. It's still a jam.
Yo,
don't tell across. Yeah, but you were making records to try and get to another point. And what I'm saying is that wasn't your path, right? But you did it. You figured it out and you pivoted. And it wasn't because you were trying to make the most money humanly possible. It was like, I love playing music for people. Yeah. This isn't working right now. I can't see where this is going. So let me pivot. Resourcefulness, hard work, kindness, bringing people on that had the same kind of mentality. It's like you guys have built this incredible business. And I really feel like you're just at the beginning of building this business. I really feel like this business, I know you're the best at what you do. I know it. So it's like, it's just about moving the Rubik's Cube around until one of the sides is orange, and then you figure out how to make the next side blue, and you figure out, and all of a sudden you got to solve Rubik's Cube. I know that there's a world out there that you haven't tapped into yet, not just that world, but other worlds. But what I liked about you then, which I like about you now, and I'll continue to like about you for the rest of the time, is that you don't stop turning the Rubik's Cube until you figure out what it is. You're going to continue to build on your shit. Adversity is not an issue. If you get knocked down, you get back up. And I know you're going to grow this business into something that you didn't even know was possible when you started it out. Yeah. The same way that you did just when you were standing in the corner booth. You know, motherfuckers stand in the corner of that booth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over the years, 1 million people stood in the corner of that booth. You guys built this because you listened, you worked hard, and you achieved. And it's not the end. You'll just keep doing it.
But a main component of that, listen, work hard, and we achieve. But man, I think a huge part of that for us was literally just watching. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the stuff that you did for me personally, I took a lot of stuff that you did. Like, bro, like the way you got me into Manor. I remember we were sitting at a table.
Still doing that nowadays. Deboing people in.
Yeah. I remember I was sitting at the table and you were like, listen, I'm going to have you DJ at Manor this week. But I'm not going to tell him. I'm just going to show. You literally walked me into Manor and was like, yo, I got to go DJ somewhere else to the manager. And he's like, but he's going to DJ for you. And I literally went up there and did it. And I was in Manor. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think you did the same thing for Underground too. Like you literally just just put us in there.
Right. But you know how I could do that? One is an incredible amount of trust from the people that I worked with, because they didn't fire me, right? And I knew that you could do it, and I knew that you cared. I could put you in that position
enough not to fuck it up,
right? No, but it's self-awareness. It's like doing whatever. Like I knew it, so like it's like, I guess what I'm saying is, you now probably do that for other people.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. That's the idea of life. It's not for the money. Like I could have sat there and made the money. I probably didn't go DJ somewhere else. I probably went home.
You went home.
Yeah. I probably just went home because I knew that you could do it. And I had something else that I could put something else in, moving the pieces around. So it's like, the more you look out for other people, the more rich your life becomes. Yeah. Right. And the more, back to the love thing real quick. It's like the basis of all this is music, right? It's all music based. I tell people all the time, like every single thing that I've done in life, music related or non-music related, all goes back to the same principle that I had when I first learned how to DJ, right? Be kind to everybody, do the best work you can, show up, work harder than everybody else. Don't fuck it up. And if you do fuck it up, apologize profusely and try it again if they'll let you try it again. Yeah. It's like those principles You might have learned stories from me and implementing those things, but those things that were already in you. You know what I mean?
But it's just that when you talk, I know that's something. This is something that gets me inside like a lot. Is that we do try to open those doors and we do depot people in. Like for you, like it doesn't matter how far I go. Like I become a billionaire. I will always say you are one of the people that helped me get there. Like, and I feel like today's generation or just people coming up, it's just easy. It's like out of sight, out of mind.
Oh, dog. You know how many people have deboed in and they just disappear after they're in? That happens all the time, dog. I don't stop deboing people in.
And I'm always like, well, you know, for me, it's like, okay, well, at the end of the day, we did leverage that person. So, you know, we've made some type of thing, but still, like, we still have our own options. Like, we chose to work with people because of a certain thing.
Sure.
So it's like, sometimes it's hard for us just to like, damn.
It's hard. It's hard for everybody.
Did I say that right?
Yeah.
It's hard for everybody, dude. That's hard for everybody.
But
and
that's
I guess what I'm saying is this: even though I quote unquote deboed you in, and even though you say, "Oh, Paul, we owe you this," like that, this is like we built this thing off of like something you taught us, right?
Yeah.
I've never come back to you and been like, "Hey guys, I need you to fucking come over and mow my lawn," or you know, whatever, any kind of menial tasks, or like, "Hey man, you owe me 20% of the DJ firm because I did X, Y, and Z." Like that's not my modus operandi, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that, right?
Hey, what word was
Modus
that?
operandi.
Modus operandi. It's Latin. It means mode of operation, loosely.
We always lead with our heart first when we're trying to like do stuff for people, or you see something like, you know what I mean?
All great leaders do that. All great leaders overgive, right?
Yeah.
Because again, the money's not what's important. It's the love and it's the stories.
But don't you get tired? Don't you get tired? Don't you
all the time?
Don't you get tired of like, man, like,
bro, all the time. And I get pissed. I get fucking mad because I can think of like 10 people off the top of my head. I have friends that I've worked with for 20 years that I can call and be like, "Hey man, come in and let's do this." And they're like, "All right, let's do it." And then we do it and it works. Or it doesn't. And we don't get mad at each other. We're still all friends. We still fucking know what the deal is. Yeah. But I have people that like I had an assistant in a studio who wanted to be an engineer. Put him in a position to be an engineer for a really big artist. Then all of a sudden, he's not just an engineer, he's the engineer. Then all of a sudden, I go out of town for 2 weeks and now he's a producer. I'm like, wait, well, how did you become a producer? You don't produce anything. And then next thing I know, he's the producer. Did you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the next thing I know, he's like, whatever. And I'm like, yo, you hit me up. I'm not saying that you took money off my table, but I brought you in to this. I brought you into this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying somebody else wouldn't have brought you into this. I'm not saying that like, whatever. I'm saying
that's exactly.
But it happens all the time. What I'm saying, it happened to me when I was 19. It's going to happen to me when I'm 39, 49, 59, 99, whatever the fuck it is. It's going to keep happening. It's not about the instance. Mm-hmm. It's about the umbrella, right? Yeah. It's like, how are you taking that into your information and moving on?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, so it's like, I'm not mad at this dude. You know what I mean? But I would like to talk to that dude because I actually found him to be a valuable person at once until he proved that he was not a valuable person.
Yeah.
Until he proved he was a dickhead. So then you just move on and you fucking don't deal with dickheads as much as humanly possible. And when you do have to deal with dickheads, like that last thing I was saying, you just handle it. And if, you got to bring it to somebody else. Yeah. Sometimes it gets so big that you got to bring it to somebody else and be like, am I an asshole right now? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not like, look at this dickhead. I'm never the person like, fuck this guy. Look at this dickhead. I'm like, am I an asshole? Or am I reading this right?
Yeah.
Did you know DJ Jem is in a band?
Kind of band.
He is?
It's a DJ band.
That's fun.
Yeah. We actually just played in Wrigley yesterday.
Oh, really?
Ensemble.
It's fun?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
How was it?
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. It was good.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I got
we have a vocalist. We have keys.
That's cool.
We have drums and sax.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What
I just
kind of music
played.
is it?
I use like Serato. I just use stems and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
And then just kind of build around it.
That's
We
dope.
just play. It's open format.
Oh, that's
like
fun.
we play like Gretchen Wilson to like, you know,
Oh, wow.
Respect, Aretha,
Yeah.
Top 40, play house,
Yeah.
you know.
Is it fun?
Yeah, it was great.
See?
Did we get recording of that?
No, I didn't get any of that.
That's fun.
Now I wanted to say, and I know you said you might not want to talk too much about it, but give us a little bit. Obviously, I know you're working on stuff for like the DJ community coming up, and like I kind of wanted you to touch on that because I did have a question about like, obviously one of my inspirations is continuing to try to build up DJs that are younger to like understand that, yo, you don't have to fucking go be all-time EDM rock star to make a lot of money. Like, yo, there's a lot of money that can be made in just playing music and making people happy. So before we get out of here, I do want to ask kind of just, you know, in the terms of, you know, helping DJs, like one of my inspirations, like I want to continue to try to inspire young DJs to like understand that like, hey, they don't got to be like an all-American rock star touring DJ and to like make a shit ton of money like in the DJ game. And that there's a lot of money that can be really made by just going out, doing events and doing like cool things and playing like music for all types of people. Yo, I'm hungry. So, man, you want to close us out?
You close us out, man.
Go ahead, bro.
Well, man, Whiteshadow, man, Paul Blair, thank you so much for blessing us with your...
Contact popped out.
Uh-oh.
I was crying. No, I was kidding. Go ahead, sorry.
Thank you for blessing us with your grace and time, energy.
I thought you were going to start crying with the Special Olympics story, man. I was just immersed. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
I interrupted you.
Well, don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe.
Yeah, we want to. Why are your lips shaking? We want to thank you. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you for coming out.
This is big, man. This is actually the first time we've done this type of format. We've been like really formal in our previous ones, but I like it, man.
I think
really
this is more
appreciate
natural.
you. Yeah, I really appreciate you coming out and just sharing wisdom. I'm sure I'll be listening to this one over and over again.
Yeah.
Just and then take notes. You know what I mean?
One more story I want to throw out there, man, is Paul Blair hit me up one day. He was like, "Yo, man, can I borrow your car to go to the suburbs?" My man drove all the way to Nebraska.
Where did I go?
Nebraska.
All the way to Nebraska.
I took your car to Nebraska.
Yo, that shit was funny.
No, wait. Tell the whole story. Wait, I don't even remember this. So, what did I have to do?
Man, there was a few times, man.
A few times I took your car to Nebraska?
No, you drove it to Nebraska to go DJ at some club out in Nebraska.
Why would I take your car to DJ in Nebraska?
I don't remember. And then you got him one day. He had to drive you all the way to Milwaukee.
I think your car, something.
Yeah, your
something
car.
happened.
Yeah,
So I lived in the city?
I don't know, man.
but yeah.
We could talk about that offline. Thank you so much again. This is
Don't make it sound like I'm a car asshole. Like right before that. Oh, hey, all right, guys, thanks for listening. And by the way, don't lend Paul your car because I'll take it to Nebraska. That is a half story that I'm sure has more of a story to it.
No. It was you told me you were going to Nebraska, but you were fucking with me. You was like, "Yo, let me borrow your car to go up to the suburbs." Man, you were in Nebraska.
Oh,
But these were the things like, yo, bro, like whenever you ask for anything, bro, like that's why I always appreciate you, man, because like I would do anything, bro. Like,
yeah, same.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it wasn't.
You can take my car right now. I'll leave it here. You can drive to Nebraska. It's totally
You do anything, no Diddy, bro?
Yeah.
Diddy, bro.
I'm even. Well, you can Diddy. It's cool.
And last thing, did you know at one point we were both ranked top 5 DJs in Chicago? My claim of fame.
You probably still are.
And yeah, Whiteshadow. DJ Jem was nowhere there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I love you guys.
All right, man. Well, this is the event Shake Up. I'm your man, DJ Jem.
Sye Young.
We are the DJ firm. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.
Peace.